It's so easy to fall into the trap of trying to impress, but being genuinely curious about the person across from you is far more attractive. Hey guys, today I want to talk about the dreaded first date. Whether you've been on one recently, have one coming up, or are building up the courage to go on one, they can often seem, daunting. We build it up to be this huge thing, so we often don't get what we want out of it. Most people approach them like they're going on a job interview with the aim of being liked and hired, instead of just approaching it more with a curiosity to see if you think you might want a second date with this person. Either way, the subject is, let's just say, a bit of a minefield, and so today I want to give you some tips based on a book I just finished and highly recommend, called How to Not Die Alone by Logan Ury. So let's jump into 5 tips that will drastically improve your first date. Tip number 1, consider the environment. Are you having a date at 7 a.m. when you're at your most stressed and grumpy, simply because it's convenient? If so, take a minute to consider what effect this might have, not only on your behavior, but on how you experience the date. For instance, a study found that people are more likely to open up and form a connection in a warm, softly lit environment than in a cold, brightly lit one. Environment matters. And yeah, that also includes putting your phone on silent and away from view. The environment is the backdrop of your potential love story and sets the tone for the entire date. Choose a place where you can both feel comfortable enough to open up, and at a time where you're not going to be stressed about the upcoming meeting you've got. Whether it's a bustling farmer's market or a serene park bench, the right environment can foster a connection that goes beyond just surface level chit chat. Tip number 2, skip the small talk. Okay, well, maybe not entirely, but rather than starting the date with the usual, "How was your day?" start it with maybe a story. Maybe it's about the dog that jumped on you as you're walking to the date and got your jeans muddy, or maybe you just got off the phone with your sister who's having a battle with her landlord. Starting the date with that kind of energy and intrigue can immediately take the conversation to a far more interesting place, more likely to provoke a more natural conversation, putting you both at ease and helping to cultivate a natural bond between you. It's about skipping the job interview questions and moving straight to that kind of talk that builds intimacy. Tip number 3, ask for advice. It's a way to show that you're human. Now, I'm not saying bear your deepest, darkest problems on a first date, but by seeking advice, for example, about a speech you're giving at an upcoming wedding, you're not only showing that you value their opinion, but you're also kind of creating this bond through showing some kind of vulnerability. And then by actually listening to the answer, you can not only make your date feel trusted and respected, but you also get to learn more about them and how they think. It transforms the date into a more kind of collaborative experience where both of you are engaging in a meaningful exchange. Tip number 4, be interested, not interesting. Now, instead of trying to appear interesting by talking about yourself all the time, focus on being interested in what your date has to say. It's so easy to fall into the trap of trying to impress, but being genuinely curious about the person across from you is far more attractive. Ask questions, listen actively, and respond to what they're saying without redirecting the conversation back to yourself. When they share stories or opinions, show engagement by asking follow-up questions that delve deeper into their experiences instead of comparing it to your own. Now, this not only makes your conversation more about them, but also demonstrates that you're a good listener and genuinely interested in understanding more about who they are. It's a subtle but effective way of building a connection between you. And last but not least, tip number 5, end the date well. Nobel Prize winner and psychologist Daniel Kahneman talks about what's known as the peak end rule, and it tells us that people remember an experience by its most intense point and its conclusion. It's why you can leave a film that has a great ending saying how much you enjoyed it, even if most of it was distinctly average. So make the last moments of your date count. Share a dessert, or offer a sincere compliment, or simply express how much you enjoyed the date. This doesn't just leave a sweet aftertaste, but also sets a positive expectation for future encounters, making it more likely that your date will recall the entire experience as a positive one. So there we have it. 5 tips to make your first date a hit. Put these into practice, and you're not just going on a date, you're setting the stage for an even better second date. And who knows, maybe something more. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed the video, don't forget to like and subscribe for more relationship content.